Good morning, YouTube. Today we have a special guest named Corwin Knauss. He is here today to tell us about durability of different kinds of trading cards, including Yu-Gi-Oh!, Vanguard, Pokemon, Magic, and of course traditional playing cards.
Alright, hello, I'm Corwin Knauss, and today I'm going to help out with this video showing cards' durabilities. The first thing I want to test is how well they're able to bend. A common test, I play a lot more Magic than I do some of these other card games, so I'll show you the common test that we try with Magic cards to make sure that it is in fact a real Magic card and if it can handle stress. The first test is of course taking it from corner to corner, and then you'll see it has a nice bend to it, but it doesn't have any creases. We take it back to the other corner, and it should, for the most part, come back. So that's the first test we do on cards, is to test corner to corner bend strength. And so of course Magic cards are pretty good. They're on a pretty good stock. Nice and flexible. They shuffle fairly well if that's what you end up doing with them.
Of course, who does that?
Yeah, who would do that? Except your common tabletop Magic players who don't really care as much about the competitiveness as they do about just playing cards. The next one would be Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We're going to take a standard Yu-Gi-Oh card and test it corner to corner. The problem you'll know with these is they have a lot smaller card face. As such, they are a little bit harder to get there, but they too also mostly come back out of it. They're a lot harder to bend. They're not quite as flexible, and of course, who in their right mind would shuffle Yu-Gi-Oh cards like this? And then of course the next one I'd like to point out, we have two different kinds of Pokemon cards, and I say two different kinds because up through the original E series, the Pokemon cards that we know and love were actually produced through Wizards of the Coast, the same who do the Magic cards. However, since then, Nintendo has taken over their own production, and I'm not exactly sure who they actually have printing the cards, but they do all the management for it now. So I have one that has been printed since then, and one that was printed back when it was Wizards of the Coast. So again, we'll test the flexibility of both.
Is that the Jungle Set Kangaskhan?
Base set 2.
Oh, base set 2. Well, that's a rare too.
Yeah, this is a rare.
Go ahead and do it.
But it was printed how many different times?
Oh, I don't know.
And how many of these were they? They were in every one of that structure deck. They were called theme decks back then. Man world. Anyways, so as you can see, since it's on the same stock as the Magic cards, it has very good flexibility, and it recovers from the corner-to-corner test quite well.
Looks like the best so far.
The newer Pokemon cards should be fairly similar. It appears this one you kind of have to pull out a little bit, just like the Magic card, but it does in fact pull out of it fairly well, and it feels like it has a slicker finish to it compared to the older finish. The older finish has a little more of a texture to it, and the older stock is a little bit stiffer probably to help it with longevity. However, the newer, thinner stock gives it a little more flexibility and is much less likely to get dented from a quick hit. And then the next one we have is Vanguard. which I personally have not played, but I'm still going to test the crap out of these cards anyways. So again, it looks like it has a slightly smaller card face.
It's about the same as Yu-Gi-Oh!
Slightly smaller card face than standard cards, but has a very, if not, pretty much the exact same card size as Yu-Gi-Oh! With the exception of the rounded corners. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has much squarer corners, and Vanguard much more rounded. The rounded corners helps it prevent dings and stuff from drops and being hit on things. A little bit of indenting there, but if you do that with Yu-Gi-Oh! You get a really bad, yeah, that's pretty bad. So again, the first test we do, corner to corner. This is a really stiff stock. I almost think this might even be stiffer than the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stock. And it comes out of it fine, but you can kind of see along here that it doesn't really take it out. You can really feel it with your hand that it holds the crease a little bit more than some of the other cards so far. And then of course finally I have the ad cards from a standard bicycle playing card deck. I did not want to destroy a perfectly good set of cards, but these are the ad cards are printed on the same stock. So of course, you know, everybody knows the standard bicycle playing cards are designed purposely for excellent shuffle ability with the air cushion finish, and they have really good flexibility for long-term use. I have a deck of the old Riderback bicycle playing cards that I've had for over 10 years, and while they are dirty, they are still perfectly playable. So of course the standard test, corner to corner. And as you can see, one of the things that's unique about this card stock is you can actually take it all the way around, corner to corner, instead of just up to touch. You can actually roll it around, and it still comes out of it just fine. So of course, you know, standard playing cards, they're designed for long-term shuffleability and playability and flexibility. Most of the other cards are designed a lot more for collectability. So yeah, first test complete. Alright, now on for the second test, and this is something that I would not recommend anyone do at home, because we're about to get wet. And so I have one of each card here. The standard bicycle playing card, a Vanguard card. I have a swamp because I figured in Magic Islands they're in the water already, so we can't use that. The swamps, you know, the swamps are just swampy, and that's probably what's going to happen to this card. Mermail, she can probably swim, but I don't think she's going to be able to handle this water quite as well as she does in the picture. And of course, water energy, because we need to energize this water. So we'll start off with the Pokemon card, the water energy. Let's energize this water. We're going to see just how well these cards can stand up to water. We can try a 5-second test and then just let them soak. As with all paper, it'll probably just start to disintegrate after a while, even though these are mostly plastic coated. So water energy, let's energize this thing of water for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it looks like it's starting to beat off, which is good off of the face. The problem we have down here, though, is it is creeping up through the paper itself. And so if your Pokemon card gets in water, especially this much water, it looks like it is going to be pretty much destroyed. There is definitely water damage creeping up into the paper. So the next one we need to test is the Mermail. Mermail right here. She should be able to swim, right? Well, we're about to see. So 5-second test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, as with the plastic coating, the water is starting to come off the card, which is pretty good. It looks like there is a lot less damage along the edges than on the Pokemon card. Get some of that water off of there. There is a lot less damage along the edges. It is still trying to come up into the card, but the seal, or the cut, is in such a way that it doesn't allow the water in quite as easily as does the Pokemon card. And it looks like our mermaid is trying to float. The water energy has very efficiently sunk to the bottom. Alright, and of course the next card we're going to try is Swamp, because at this point these cards are going to be pretty swampy. Magic card, test, 5 seconds. Mermaid, get out of my way. Okay, good. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, the plastic coating allows the water to come off, but as you can probably tell, I don't know if you can tell this, but there's a lot of water damage around the edges of this card. And that was only in there for 5 seconds. And you might be able to tell if I do that. There is a lot of water damage around the edges already. Then, of course, we have our Vanguard card. I do not have a... Well, that was exciting.
Bless you!
In this case, we have a Vanguard card. And I did not have a water-based card to test this on. But the pigeon should get a lovely little bath right here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this plastic coating is really good. Most of the water just came right off. There is still damage along the edge of the card. You can probably see just a little bit of it. But generally speaking, this one actually has held up about as well as the Yu-Gi-Oh card. The water came off a lot quicker. It looks like I can just wipe it off real easy. And the card face itself is not damaged at all. It's just around the edges. And now finally, of course, Bicycle cardstock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah. If you look along the edges, there's definitely a lot of water damage already. The water is not coming off the face of this card at all. It's actually making the paper peel as I'm pulling it across and bubble. Wow, look at that. Yep, it's a goner. Okay, so standard Bicycle playing cards. I would not recommend getting wet. Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, while I don't recommend it,
Recommend getting it wet, that is.
yeah, I don't recommend getting it wet. Yeah, you can really see the damage now that it's been soaking in the water. It's causing it to crease and everything else. Yu-Gi-Oh seems to hold up. Huh? Yu-Gi-Oh seems to hold up a whole lot better than our Bicycle playing card, which is crumbling under my fingers as I'm trying to get it out of here. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's already soaked. It's bad. So yeah, water test, swampy. Our water energy definitely gave it a good run for its money. Our mermaid is not swimming with the sharks.